Okay, recording a quick game here, not because the outcome is ever really particularly in doubt, but just because of the way that the game ends, which I find pretty amusing. I am playing Nin. I know, probably sick of that, but it's just too good. Sometimes you just gotta play Nin. I just didn't feel like playing any weaker decks. He's playing with Jin, my old mono blue deck. Well, old mono blue commander. It's actually the inspiration behind the Nin deck. Most of the cards in my Nin deck are the same as my old Jin deck. However, I reasoned that a 2-mana commander is better than a 10-mana commander. And the ability to play with some red spells is clearly better than having to play mono blue, which is definitely a handicap. Anyway, game will unfold. I have a very, very good draw, especially with one more mana. Ancestral Vision. So I brainstorm into no lands here. However, I do get another mana artifact, which makes the Thirst much better if I need to play that. So I'm just going to play the Mind Stone here. Long-term plan is probably to Thirst and probably keep the Chalice. I'm not too interested in Karn right now. Especially, he's not... I mean, I guess he's good against mono blue, but when I've got Tezzeret already, I probably don't even need Karn. I'll certainly keep it if I get other stuff to discard, though. Cast Impulse. It's kind of a cool artwork. Is that card mythic? Or is that just because it's from the vault? It's funny to go from common to, like, mythic. Yeah. Man, this card... I often just call it the elixir of Mulligan, but I find that I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it is about this card that a certain level of players just cannot resist it. I don't know what it is about it, but maybe it's like a very basic skill testing card that if you think Elixir of Immortality is a card that you should ever put in a deck, then you haven't learned enough about Magic yet. I don't think I've ever lost a game to someone who's played with this card in their deck ever. Anyway, off the Thirst, I get 2 land and Flametongue Kavu. So even though it'd be comfortable to throw away the Everflowing Chalice, ultimately it would result in me probably having to discard next turn. So I see no use for the Flametongue Kavu, and decided to just pitch that in one of the lands to keep Karn. Especially now that I've had enough mana to activate Tezzeret, then ramping into Karn is no big deal. Drawing Negate there is really nice, because it's going to give me a double option to deal with his Suspend, which is coming up turn after this one. I get another island, which is really fortunate too. Now we're just going to fight over his Ancestral Visions. And he does have a counter, and I negate that. And I negated the Ancestral Vision, hoping he might do something funky like, I don't know, maybe assume that I was countering his counterspell and go after my Muddle again or something. But he didn't do that. He didn't have another counter. He has Jace. The sucky Jace. I was really hoping to draw a land there. Just draw a land and slam Karn down on this guy. But Tezzeret's even better than Karn. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Best Planeswalker and Commander, period. This guy, no question. And he time stops me during my upkeep, I guess, in an effort to prevent Tezzeret abuse and to get Jace to work again. I'm not having any of that, especially now that because of Tezzeret and his ability to double Soul Rings use, I can put Karn down with counter backup. And here I just eat a card out of his hand, figuring he probably doesn't have a land. And even if he does, going up to 10 counters, he's probably not going to draw a card from Jace. He's going to let us both draw, which I'm totally happy with, given that my hand is fairly small. And I'll just eat the Jace next turn with extra counters on Karn, which is delightful. He plays Basalt Monolith. So this time I eat his Jace. He mentions that his deck needs a Karn, and I kind of agree. I think think every deck needs Karn, especially one that's based around getting a 10-mana commander into play. So the reason I recorded this game is because I was actually having a conversation with my one of my online friends, and this is the turn coming up here. So I said to him, he just started to watch our game right as this turn popped up, and I said to him, watch this. I can tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to kill his monolith. He just asks if what he time stopped. I didn't get a chance to answer that. I'm going to kill his monolith, and in response, he's going to cast his guy. I'm going to fetch Shackles. And sure enough, so he thinks about it and decides not to, which I don't agree with, because if you're going to cast it, you might as well cast it right now. Hope I don't have a counter yet and draw the extra cards, given that he's down to 3 cards in hand. Of course, I have Counterspell and Cryptic Command, so it's not going to do anything for him, and I draw Spell Crumple. So I eat his monolith, and in response, here comes Jin. And I fetch Shackles and say, yoink. And my friend jokes, you should take that ability on the road, read fortunes and such. Anyway, the one thing I didn't predict, or I didn't mention predicting, which of course was obvious, that it was that he would concede in the aftermath of this, which he certainly does. So anyway, that's the end of the game. Not particularly close or anything like that, but kind of funny about how sometimes in Magic you can just completely predict exactly what's going to unfold and then watch it happen right in front of your eyes. Hope you enjoyed it.